What's up? I'm tired of snow. The snow sucks. Didn't make my bed, didn't close my closet door. I'm over it all. Anyways, what is up, people? You know, people. And stuff. I've been printing little reindeer because I printed one for my mother because she had one years ago and gave it away to a friend of hers and said, "Oh yeah, Tom will print another one," and I never got around to it. So I printed her one this year. I made her all happy. It's the articulating reindeer, and she was all happy. And of course, being an old lady, she had to post it all over the place, tell all her friends. Of course, all of them want it now. So I've been printing little red reindeer. And everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you print them to brown and make a red nose?" And it's like, you got, a couple of grand for a printer that I can, do multi with. Sure, I'll print all you want with brown and red. But yeah, so there's that. Come hang out if you want, Mike. Not really doing much anything. Just kind of hanging out. Not doing much or nothing. Just kind of being here. That's actually a really nice coffee pot. I just posted it. Just now. It's right there. Right there. Why isn't it showing up? It shows up in the... Let's do this. Now it should be alright. I don't know why it doesn't show up under my regular account, even though I don't know. YouTube. I don't even try and understand it. What's up, dude? I don't know why it doesn't show up under my regular account. You gotta turn the YouTube audio on.
Oh, shoot. There we go. Whoops.
Been there, done that 1,000 times.
So how's it going?
It's going.
At some point here, we got to leave our houses and just meet up someplace, seeing as you're within spitting distance.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to head out there, but for one, I don't like driving, which is really weird because I used to drive all the time when I was younger, and now I just don't even want to be in a car. I just really, really hate being in cars. I literally go to the grocery store. We bought a brand new car. I mean, it's my parents' car, but I drive it because neither one of them could drive. And, my dad passed, but mom can't drive at all. Hasn't in probably 10 years. Brand new car. Well, I shouldn't say brand new. It was used. But it had 24,000 miles on it. A year ago, September, we bought it. October. A year ago, October.
And what do you have? 30 or 35 now?
It's got 24,500.
How much did you buy it with?
I've literally put 500 miles on it in a year.
Oh, man.
And that includes taking a 200-mile trip to meet my brother, to send my mother to Boston when we had that week without power.
Oh, it is crazy. I mean, I drive.
I literally drive around town, and that's it. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're doing any driving at all, because
I don't like being in cars. Probably, the 22 car accidents I've been in my lifetime kind of deters me from vehicles.
Yeah.
Which is funny because only one of them, well, two of it I was driving in. One of them, really.
I thought I was bad because I only drive 1.5 miles a day. And
well, you work at EV, right?
Yeah.
So you got to drive up and around the bridge, don't you?
No, not even. I live in New London.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to drive over to Groton?
No. I'm in the engineering side, so they have...
Oh, so you're right here. You're right.
I've
You're
walked
where
to
Pfizer's used to be, aren't you?
if everything goes bad,
Forgot they bought that.
I can walk to work.
Yeah, you're in the old Pfizer's building
Mm-hmm.
down by what the hell's that bar right on the corner there that we all used to hang out in? God,
It stashes.
yes, that was
Yeah,
a. When I was young, that was a biker bar, like
yeah,
leather motorcycles. There was 100 Harleys for every car that was parked in that parking lot back in the 70s and 80s.
yeah.
Now
It's
it's kind
changed
of
a
turned
bit.
into a yuppie freaking.
We all like
The food is supposedly still really good there, isn't it? I used to
I
go there.
I don't know. It's gone through like 2 or 3 different owners in the past 5 years. So
Yeah, the original dude like got sick or had cancer or something. The original.
well, I think he's back at it because he has on the dock side also or whatever.
Yeah. Well, his
Uh,
kids are in that, I think. He
hmm.
got cancer or something way back, and then kind of turned it over to a friend of his to run it, who was a druggie, and kind of drove it into the ground. And then he got better, and he took it back. I don't know. There's a whole story behind it. I didn't really pay attention. We
Yeah,
used to go there.
I think they make more money, or at least they were making more money off of the daily EB parking people.
Yeah, well, it turned kind of yuppie when Pfizer's really started. When I was a kid, Pfizer's had a little like house down there, and that was it. And then they built the big building or rebuilt the building. The building was already there, I guess, but they rebuilt it, and it kind of turned into a yuppie thing because all the Pfizer's guys would go there for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pfizer's moved out, and Electric Boat took it over.
Yeah, well, Electric Boat's a rougher crowd.
Yeah, I mean Pfizer's was all very, but it's still not. It's not biker crowd like it was when I was going there.
Oh no, it's definitely different. The only place that was like that was the State Street Cafe for a while, and the State Street Roadhouse for a while, and then they basically went downhill. Every bar I go to closes.
Yeah.
Like within like the next like 3 years. It's either I'm bringing it down or I just like to hang out at places that are dying. I don't know.
We didn't actually get that much there, Sergio. It's just freaking heavy, wet crap. And of course, I got the long driveway, so I do a little bit today, and I do a little bit tomorrow, and I do a little bit the next day. Today I was out there shoveling, just widening it, just so you can, like if a UPS truck wants to deliver crap, they can actually get in here reasonably easy and not do we can't deliver because there's snow on the driveway. Hate that. Bunch of freaking pussies. Yeah, what was the one up there right by where Benny's used to be, right on the edge of the hill there? Shenanigans or something? That's
I don't
closed.
know. That's getting dangerously close to where the bowling alley used to be.
Yeah. But it was right on what the hell's the one? What's the street that goes behind frickin' Benny, where Benny's was?
The one which has Aldi's on it now, or
I don't know. Is that what's on it? No. Behind Benny's. When you hit that
there was some kind of a sports bar over there.
Yeah, that used to be frickin' banging back in the day. Like late 80s. That was one of the original ones. I remember that used to have the when that first opened, because that was a paint store when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And
but being the sports store, that's where you'd find your book guy, and
Yeah. But they had the old half of 56 Chevy sticking out the front of the building back in the day.
They cut a perfectly good car in half?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a good car. I mean, it was just the fiberglass. It was like a drag car shell. It was a fiberglass shell. Actually, I think it was a drag car shell that, they got rid of and got in an accident or something. They used the front half. It used to be strapped up right. It was the awning for the entry. Was the old 56 Chevy. And it was...
yeah, that place, I mean, I've driven past it a few times. There's nothing there now, but...
Yeah, it's like the parking lot's got grass growing in it for crying out loud now. You can't even barely drive up in there. That's not a bad spot either.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But it seems like New London has all of the bars. I did a count once. Like I just like went around basically the downtown kind of city of New London kind of area. So everything between Jefferson, Coleman, and that block of area, all the way, like to Bank Street,
Yeah.
Street ish, all that. And I counted like 35 bars. This was like a couple of years ago. And we're only 4 square miles.
Yeah. A lot of those are closed though.
Yeah, well, right now because of the COVID stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them closing even before that.
Well, yeah, there was always turnover, but like active bars, you always had more than 30, I think, in New London.
Well, there was always like 6 or 7 right there on Bank Street. It's like there was a shop and then a bar and then a shop and then a bar and then a shop and then a bar.
Bank Street is all bars and bars and restaurants. So you got. I'm just going from the end of Bank Street back, and I can count 1, 2, 3.
It's been a long time.
4.
10 years since I've been down Bank Street.
5, 6, 7. I think there's like 8 or 9 active bars or at least active as of this year bars on Bank Street. And then there's like the little side streets that are off of it, and there's just they're all over.
Mm-hmm. There used to be, I can't remember the name of that either. There used to be an Italian restaurant just off of Bank Street, right where the very last major intersection before you got into the Cove Landing, which back then wasn't there. Cove Landing used to be a freaking big empty field back when I was young. And that actually was a shipyard when I was young, to be real. To the left, there used to be just on that freaking side road. What the hell's the name of it? I can't remember. Anyways, there was a little Italian restaurant. They used to make the awesomest like Italian food. It was just freaking incredible. And it was a little pricey for the times, but even still, you go there and it's like I would go with friends of mine who are, decent eaters, kind of big guys. And I got that bed the other day and I already fucked it up.
What, you got polycarbonate bed?
Huh?
Did you get one of his polycarbonate beds?
Yeah.
How'd you fuck it up?
It
probably
it's got like cracked. Check it out. It's hard to see it.
Right here. So what? Print on it. They'll be fine.
It's like a big bubble up right there.
Sand it down a little bit.
Rubbed on it.
Just sand it down a little bit.
The corner, I'll still use it, but it like cracked. I don't know if you can see it.
What?
It's
what
like
temp?
a half round crack right here.
You mean in the metal?
No, that's in the plastic.
Yeah, just rub it with a little sandpaper.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's weird because I wasn't even like printing in that area. And all of a sudden the nozzle went to do a homing and freaking rubbed on it. I'm like, what the hell is that? And the nozzle caught it and just tore it up. It's like it wasn't fully adhered right there or something, which is fine. It's in the right corner, which I almost never use. But I just thought that was weird.
Well, you didn't get a hole in it though, right? The material
there's a hole there. It pulled it right up. I pulled it back down. It's literally like a little smiley face that just rolled up and tore.
Well, then your nozzle hit it and ripped it.
Yeah. It was like a little bump. The nozzle hit it and just started tearing it up. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You heard it when it hit it.
And this is why you got to level the printer nicely.
Well, I leveled. That's what I was doing, was leveling the printer because it's a new bed, so I wanted to make sure the height was right. So I was going around, did the corner, said cool, said home, so everything went home, and it freaking just caught this little bump, and it just tore the whole edge of it up. It's weird. I'm wondering if there was like a little piece of like dirt or something you didn't catch when you put it down, and it just stuck it up just
no.
enough, and the nozzle was because I always do my foaming hot.
No, because I check the entire surface.
I don't know.
Even
again,
after I get it down.
I mean, you can see it clear as day now. It's right there.
Huh.
It's like a little smiley face. And then all of this is where it like puckered. It like peeled up like this whole big area.
You know,
And I down and readhered.
I got some acrylic adhesive that you could use if you want. You could you just brush it on and it just sucks in the crack.
Down. It's just where the nozzle caught is a big. I gotta like sand it or grind it down or whatever.
I know, but what I was saying is with this adhesive, with this stuff, basically it welds it back together and turns it back into one piece. If you want some, you can
not
use.
That concerned about it. Again, that's not an area I don't really hit that area of the printer often, anyways.
Well, did you print anything on it?
Yeah, I just what are these little reindeer?
How'd you like the adhesion?
Too much. I actually broke it. I broke one getting it off.
Yeah, it's a lot of adhesion. You got to put some IPA down before.
What have you actually printed on it? What do you?
Yeah, you don't want to have something really delicate on the surface because it will adhere too much sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. If you put glue stick down first, just as a releasing agent.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that.
What do you normally do for a temperature?
What's that?
What do you normally do for? What do you print on it? What do you normally do for a temperature?
I print almost 100% PET G, and the temp on it is 65.
Yeah,
all the time.
If you're printing PLA though, you can print with it cold.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it will hold.
Yeah, I know. But I did this without the metal. I did. I actually did that's how me and him started talking about it. I was talking about. I used to do it with just regular old Lexan, just a sheet of Lexan.
That is Lexan.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how me and you started talking about it. And you said, "Hey, here, try this," because I used to get like 6 mil Lexan. The problem is when you put any heat to Lexan, it would curl up on the edges. Where that is thin enough, it can't do that. Where you adhered it to the magnet.
Yeah,
even with my thick stuff, it doesn't curl. As long as
the metal.
As long as it's stuck to that metal bed, I don't have to worry about it.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well,
I could clip it down. Anyways, I'll play with it. Do you sand it or do anything to it or put anything down?
Yeah, you can sand it. I didn't sand yours.
No, I know.
You can sand it. I use 80 grit and put it on a flat sanding block so you're feathering it real nice. Yep. If you've got any raised areas.
No, I'm just wondering what you do. What do you do? I know what I do.
I actually have 100 grit on a orbital sander, and then I actually sand the whole surface.
Yeah. No, so I mean, when you're using it, you're day-to-day working with it. What do you do?
Day-to-day working on it, I do nothing. I do a print, and then I take the print off. Take my razor and kind of scrape the surface nice and clean, and then I IPA it, and then I'm ready for the next print.
Right. So it's just like any other basic, PEI.
Yep. I don't do anything out of the normal.
Yeah, when we were printing on that stuff, we were printing on a 1/2-inch thick piece of acrylic, and we designed our own special raft material that would have limited adhesion.
Yeah, when I was playing with it, on my other printer, again, I just used regular old Lexan. I stopped using it because it was too good. I was damaging prints trying to get them off of it, which is fine. I mean, as long as you know that. I know PLA sticks to it more than PETG does, I think.
PLA sticks to it really good.
Yeah, a little too good. I think.
So,
like I said, you probably, like Mike was saying, you can do it cold with that. You don't need to heat the bed.
No.
Because that bed on that printer sucks. I don't know why. There's nothing I can see wrong with it. It's really no different in this one. This one, takes a couple 5 minutes to get up to 70 degrees. That one will never get to 70 degrees. It'll set off freaking thermal runaway long before it gets to 70. And I've set every alarm on thermal runaway in the firmware as low as I can possibly go. I literally have it like a half a degree every 5 minutes, and it still will set off thermal runaway over 55, 60 degrees. It just won't warm up any hotter. Oh, it's got a hammer out. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I got there's bearings inside of this part. So
The hell you building up?
this is part of this.
More gun stuff.
I changed everything over to ball bearings, and now guys are wanting to buy the shit out of it. So
Nothing wrong with that.
no,
That means you did the thing right if they want to buy it.
Yeah, it's so terrible when you have to go and ramp up production because people want something.
that's my printers. I went through 5 rolls of PET G in the last 2 days just printing parts.
Wish I had that problem.
Sounds like you need an auto adjuster.
I gotta actually start marketing some of the stuff I design. I design stuff and just like whatever, Hey, that worked for me.
I may have some of these parts if they sell like they look like they're going to sell. I may have some of these parts manufactured, have them make some molds and have injected molded parts because there's I don't know if you can you see that?
Yeah.
So
stuff.
Yeah. So these 2 parts could be injected molded pretty easily.
See Me CNC isn't that far from you, right?
I don't know.
Did they have an injection molder?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they
do
still
that
have,
anymore. But
hire pay, if you can pay them to do stuff. But from what I understand, they're a good small run. You don't want 100,000 of them. You want 1,000 of them or a couple hundred of them. They can do it.
Yeah, I priced some of those, and they're just kind of.
You have to do 20 or 30
don't make
pounds
sense.
of them to make it affordable.
Yeah.
That's cutting the dies and all that. That's expensive. Once the dies are cut, the actual injection stuff is easy. It's cheap. Just getting the initial die set.
yeah,
Well, we've got a big company here in town. Procter and Gamble has one of their largest manufacturing facilities in town here. So they have there's a injection molding company, a big one, and I'm trying to weasel my way into some of the guys that are working there to see if they'd be interested in doing a small run if I could supply the CAD drawings.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the biggest thing I've always found is getting the dies cut. It's basically, we had the same problem we used to do a bunch of custom trim on old houses out in New London. You got to match it, and getting dies done to do the shapers is almost the same machining. I mean, it's really not because you're making just a blade, but it's the same concept. You have to have the die cut.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
those things used to cost us like $1,000 for a blade to do a half a dozen strips of trim.
Better hope you don't get a rock or something embedded in the wood when you run it through that.
When you start doing that kind of crap, especially some of them uppity up houses in New London, as you get out toward the point, yeah, those people, when it used to shock me when I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna trim this door out and it's gonna cost you like $5,000 if you want it to match all the rest of the doors in the house. I'm waiting for the people to go, what? And they're all out there like, oh, that's all? Okay. How much do you need up front? I'm like, what? I'm just gonna put 3 pieces of freaking trim around the door, and it's gonna cost you $5,000, and you're okay with that? They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, okay, dude.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
80s, 90s.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether or not it would be useful now, but like I have the iFactory, which is doing that belt stuff, and you could easily print out 6-10 feet worth of trim on that kind of machine.
Yeah, but the problem is that's not wood.
No, but you could use some different filament.
If it's painted, that's fine.
If it has to be varnished or something,
all natural stain like mahoganies and poplars and
Richie
stain quality stuff that we used to warp and round, and some of them doors have like round tops, and it's all one piece of trim, and you got to steam it and bend it and steam it and bend it and steam it and bend it. Takes you like a week to make one piece of freaking trim because it's one solid arc all the way around. And you constantly are steaming it and bending it and steaming it and bending it and steaming it and bending it.
Well, wood's basically plastic if you take long enough with it.
Yeah, well, if you steam it enough, you just have to be careful because when you steam it too much, one, it gets moldy. People don't realize if you steam like oaks and stuff a lot, if you do it more than a couple times, it'll get mold. You got to bleach it before you hang it, and then you can't polyurethane it or anything for like a couple of months because it won't stick with the bleach. It discolors it.
Huh.
There's a lot of BS with trim. A lot of them old houses in New London have the old round like turrets in them, so the baseboards arced. Did a lot of that crap. Window trim that's like the uprights are normal, but then the header and the sill are round. Oh my god, that's such a pain in the ass to do. Used to do a lot of that stuff back in the day. That's the first place I fell through a roof into an attic. Right across from Mitchell College. There used to be an old barn there. I don't even think it's there anymore. We redid the roof, and I was up walking on it, and the boss was like, be careful. And just as he said, be careful, it's soft, before he got the word soft out, I was in the attic. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, potentially easier than going down a ladder.
Well, it's better than falling off the roof, that's for sure. I'd much rather fall through the roof than off of it. It was like a cartoon though, dude, for real. It's like I'm just walking along. You're being careful. It wasn't a steep pitch. It was like an 8 pitch or a 9 pitch. It's annoying to walk on, but you don't feel like you're gonna slide off it like a real steep one. And next thing I know, poof, I was in the attic. Perfect little hole.
A little llama-shaped hole?
That's it, baby. I think I was, 19 or 20 when I did that? Scared the ever-living shit out of me.
Anything cool in the attic?
Huh?
Anything cool in the attic?
Actually, there was. There was a bunch of cool stuff in it. It was an old... I don't know if it's still there. It was a bright red barn that was right across from Mitchell College. where the ice cream place is. I don't think it's there anymore because I know Mitchell College bought all that property, and because I actually built a new cafeteria when I was working in the big corporate company. That was the last job I ever did for him. That's what made me quit, was doing that. The engineer there was a freaking moron. What an idiot. My drawing says this will work, and we're like, me and the plumbers and the electricians are all looking at him like, well, your drawing's wrong, because I built them. I don't know if you've ever been in this place. The walls and everything, the interior of it is supposed to look like the ocean. It's all like wavy and all kinds of weird crap. And he drew up these plans, and I had this custom wall built that I had trucked in. You had to pre-build it, truck it in, bring it in, stand it up. It was like 10 feet long and assemble it. It was all this fancy crap, and it's round and round tops and blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I drew it in as fit. So we put it in, and all the gas pipes and everything were in the way. And we're like, we can't put this wall up. You got to like refigure it. You're going to have to, pay a back charge because now this wall's all built. It's all pre-built to your spec. We go to stand it up and it won't fit. And the guy's standing there, no lie. He's standing there looking at it going, it'll work. It worked in my drawing. It's like, dude, the pipe is 8 feet off the floor and the wall's 10 feet. Not going to fit. Well, it works in my drawing. And no lie, it was a classic. The actual plumber / gas guy literally did a face palm. He was like, "Are you kidding me? This guy's a moron." And my boss calls me up and says, "Make it work." I'm like, "We can't." And he's like, "Well, the engineer says it will." And I'm like, "It will not work." Well, he's not going to pay to fix it. He said, "Well, it's not going to get done then." I can't make something work that just doesn't, you can't put a fucking square peg in a round hole with it, it just don't work. They're all like, oh, you're doing it wrong, or you're doing this wrong, or you did that wrong. But I didn't do nothing. We mapped it all out. All we did was come in here and stand the thing up and, screw it to the floor. That's what made me quit. That, and not 5 minutes later, the freaking morons that my company sub didn't bring their chop box. So I loaned them mine, which they proceeded to drop on the floor and shatter. Brand new. Thing wasn't a freaking week old. $1,000 freaking sliding, miter box. Whole 9 yards. It was a really, really nice one. High-end Makita, like top of the line. And they looked at me and said, oh, we're not paying for it. It's not our fault. It's like, you dropped it on the floor. Well, it was an accident. Oh, and you're not going to pay for your accident? Nah, it's your tool. You can pay for it. Like, yeah, I don't think so.
Man, what kind of people were you working with?
Dude, it's so bizarre. When I first started working there, I worked for this company for like 10 years. There was literally just 6 of us when I started. It was they were paper pushers, supervisors. I got originally hired for the first month. I worked as a punch list guy. I went into buildings after the corporate. It was a corporate building. They go into apartment buildings and they hang trim and cabinets and do 50 apartments in a day. 200 guys come in. And of course, stuff gets screwed up when you're doing that kind of production. And they hired me to go in and fix it. Well, my boss found out I actually knew what I was doing. I wasn't just a moron. And he got sick, and I took his job for a while. And he's like, look, we got a couple of jobs out on Long Island. If you're willing to relocate, you could have my job out on Long Island. So I took that and became a paper pusher, basically. I'm the one that they get the job, and I'd be like, okay, on Tuesday, I need 200 guys to show up and do this set of 50 apartments. That was my job. I organized everything. And then 6 months later, I'd go back to each apartment, and pre-schedule and be like, okay, what's wrong? Is there trim bad? Is the cabinets, and fix the squeaky cabinet door, that kind of crap. Anyway, it was gorgeous. It was a beautiful job. Absolutely loved it. I got paid pretty decent. I had benefits up the yin yang. I mean, I had no bills. My company paid all my bills. While I was out on Long Island, They rented my apartment. They paid my electric bill. They paid my gas. They bought me a brand new van to drive around. None of that where I was living out there and I couldn't be here. They were paying my electric bill here, the power, the television, the internet, everything. I had no bills. They paid all my bills for me every month.
Well,
Gas, food. They gave me $100 a day for food.
you know, I
They-
might fall through a roof or two if they paid all my bills.
Yeah. No, I was a paper pusher. I drove around in the van and wrote crap down and said, okay, I need 10 guys in this house and 12 in this one. And I need, the trimmers over here and the cabinet hangers over here and the door hangers over here and the hardware guys over here. That's what I did. I was more of a paper pusher. I mean, I could do work. I did a lot. I did all the little nitpicky stuff afterwards when, either they couldn't do it. That's one thing. The other thing that made my guys really like working for me, because they used to just go into a house and nail the stuff up. And if there was something wrong with the sheetrock was bubbled, they'd nail the trim on it, because they get paid for the job. They don't give a crap. They said, no. Don't do that no more. If there's something wrong with that wall that you can't hang the trim or you can't hang the cabinet, you do not hang the cabinet. They're like, oh, we don't get paid. I said, you will get paid. If it's not your fault, you take a picture of it with your damn phone. You send me a note. I'll approve it. You move on to the next one. You get paid. If you got to come back and fix it, we're gonna back charge the sheetrock or the framer or the plumber or because that's supposed to be, these are big corporate jobs. That stuff's supposed to be inspected before I even get called in. Because there was, like Pulte or Avalon or.
I thought you were talking about doing this when you were like 20 or something. They have smartphones back then?
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 99, 2000. Yeah, they weren't really smartphones. They were just big bricks, but they had cameras and stuff in them. The stupid matter of fact, my number one phone doing that was the Razors. I used to use the Razor.
Oh man, I remember those.
Yeah, it was like 99, 2000, 2001 when I went out there. But yeah, and then toward the last year I was there, the big boss, the owner of the company, split off with his partner because there was two of them. One was doing all trim and finish stuff, and the other one did framing and sheetrocking. So a lot of times we could build a whole house from end to end. The only our company didn't do was plumbing and electrical, basically.
But that's
They split off because they didn't always want to do the same jobs. I mean, they were still part of the same company, but they weren't. It was weird. But then my boss / owner, whatever he was, decided he wanted to retire and sold the company, which was fine. They sold it to a trim company out in Rhode Island, who turned around and sold it to another trim company, who turned around and sold it to frickin' Truss Joist. The company Truss Joist makes truss joists. Well, that company actually does framing and installation and stuff too. And they bought our company because they could never compete with us. Well, the reason they couldn't compete with us is because they were freaking morons. And it became I did basically what I knew I needed to do every day. I would go in at 6 o'clock. My guys would show up at 7 o'clock. And if anything was wrong, I had to wait until 9:30 to call the office in Wisconsin to get approval to do anything. So I'd have 200 or 300 guys doing this that we're paying because they can't work. Because I needed a box of nails, or the saw blades need to be replaced, or the truckload of trim was an hour late, and I wasn't authorized to just say, okay, the truckload of trim isn't here. Go do this instead. They wouldn't let me do it. Just new company. I was like, this is just insanely moronic. That's when that job out on Long Island, I actually trained a kid to take that over, and I took 3 of them in New London to get back here. And one of them was Mitchell College, and that was the end of it. Dealing with the new company and the moronic stations of just the stupidity of the corporate thought in that place was just the wasted money to save a penny was just ridiculous. I mean, the original company, I had a Home Depot card and a Lowe's card. Went and got what I wanted. If it was more than a couple $100, you call the office and you get it pre-approved. Not a big deal. Nope, couldn't do it. My Home Depot card when the corporation took over was $50, and my Lowe's card was $50, and that was the max I could spend without calling the main office in Wisconsin. So if I needed a box of nails, I couldn't get them. They're like, "Oh, pay it yourself, and we'll reimburse you." No, it'd take them 8 weeks to reimburse you, and you had to fill out paperwork forever. And it's like, no. Well, part of the stupid credit card is that we can spend it. Well, people steal then. Then you take that risk, but you're worried about me freaking buying a trim gun for a couple $100, and you're wasting thousands in man hours, literally thousands of dollars in man hours because you're worried about a couple $100. I might buy a nail gun on your freaking credit card.
It makes perfect sense. They probably reduced theft by at least 150%.
Oh yeah, because everyone I know quit. I quit. 2 of the other supervisors I used to work with quit. I heard my boss quit like a year later, not even a year later. Everybody left. And they wondered why they couldn't compete with us. Because they originally bought us, and said, "This is why we're buying." The big corporate head dude came down, like, "Oh, hi, I'm your new boss," and blah, blah, blah. He's like, "We could not compete with you guys, blah, blah, blah. This is why we bought you, because we didn't have to compete against you in bidding anymore." It's like, well, one, we owned our own lumber mill, so all our trim was, like, insanely cheap. 2, which they didn't buy. They didn't take the lumber mill. They sold the lumber mill off. Like, I was paying like 10 cents for freaking custom trim per board foot instead of $2 or $3.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Oh, we don't need a lumber mill. That just costs money. We can go to Home Depot and buy it." No, you can't. We literally had our own lumber mill. Our own, it was a trim mill. They made all of our trims and doors and everything all custom right in house. It literally was insanely cheap. These doors came from it. I think I paid like $15 or $20 for the doors. I know they're solid. Those are solid oak doors. They're painted, but those are solid oak bifold doors. I paid $15 for them. And, now they're paying $100, $150 a piece for it. It's like, do you not understand how? And it's not like, we're doing little bits. I mean, when I order trim and I got my trim delivery, I get 3 or 4 semi truckloads of trim, like once or twice a week. We're not talking, and I'm one of 6 or 8 guys, up and down the Eastern Seaboard. We went all the way down. They were getting ready to send me to Florida. I mean, we went to bid on a bunch of truck jobs, which is why I know I don't like that guy, because I've been on his job sites. But anyway, we won't get into the politics. Yeah, that was a whole different thing. Going from a small, privately owned, easygoing, people knew what the hell they were doing. You didn't know what you were doing. And I mean, he did. The original owner got burned a couple times with credit cards. They had one guy that quit and went to Home Depot and spent like $6,000 on the credit card. But even still, I mean, yeah, that sucks. And
that's cheaper than paying 20 workers.
20? I have hundreds, dude. I have like 3 sites with 40 or 50 or. I mean, I had one site, I had a Pulte site where on multiple occasions I'd have 200 guys on site for, a week. And they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs because I can't get nails. That was the final draw. I'm like, are you freaking people insane? Do you not understand that you're just costing money trying to penny pinch? And then when you call, dude, not only is it that bad that you have to wait until 9:30 in the morning to call, I call and I get an 18-year-old kid that has no idea what I'm talking about. I go, I need like D9 gun nails. He's like, what's a D9 gun nail? I'm like, They're nails. They go in a gun. I need a box of them.
They are size D9.
Uh,
If you look it up, he'd literally have to go look it up and go to Home Depot and say, okay, it's $23 a case, blah, blah, blah. How many cases do you need? Okay. And I'm sitting here on the phone with this kid. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, I don't mind the kid, other than don't make him approve me when I know what I need. You know, it's like, if you want it approved, I will send you a freaking email and, you know, get it approved, or a fax. We were still faxing a lot back then. Everything
ooh,
was
fact, the mail, it's the mail of the future.
Were you using Senko's?
Actually, no. I used more Porter-Cable than Senko. More because it fit the same guns, because Senko and Porter-Cable would use the same nail set, and the Porter-Cables I could get easier, cheaper at Home Depot or Lowe's. Where the Senko's, you had to go to a lumberyard generally to get back then.
I still have probably 10 Senko guns.
I still have a couple of pass loads.
Yeah, pass loads for framing. Those were great.
I used them for trim. I have a couple. I've got a straight. I've got a stapler, a trimmer. I've got an angle head trimmer, and I got a framer, all pass load. And they're absolutely useless. I can't even sell them because nobody wants them anymore. Because you can't. You can get battery powered now. That's more powerful, lasts longer. You don't have to deal with the gas. You don't have to deal with the extra batteries.
Oh, sure.
Pass load batteries were terrible. I mean, a day's work, you had to have a dozen of them things charging all the time. If you wanted to go a full day with one gun, then you get 200 or 300 guys. You need 1,000 freaking batteries. Well, now you go out.
Power.
You go out and buy a DeWalt or a Milwaukee or a Makita, you know, battery powered. It uses the same battery your drill does.
That's the best thing they ever did, was standardize on them freaking power tool batteries. You know, I guess there's like 3 different variations you need.
Yep. Yeah, the pass load and the gas would always misfire. God, those things were the most unreliable pieces of junk.
I like the pass loads for framing. They were
I
light.
liked them for framing. They were light and they were fast. But one, you needed the gas all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Whenever we do, like if I was just doing like for me, trimming, I'd go into somebody's house, you know, a dog scratched up the trim, because we warranted the trim no matter what, even if you damaged it within reason. Like that was one of our deals. We warranted it for 6 months. So like one of them was a Pulte old folks home, and everybody had the little yelpy dogs, and little freaking rat dogs. And they're always chewing on the trim or scratching the doors. And, you know, you always get the little piece of trim that's marked up. So I'd go in and replace the trim. And that's when the pass load was perfect. You pop the one piece of trim off. There's no compressor. There's no hoses. There's no it's like, and you're done. You know, the pass load was great for that. But, man, they were wicked unreliable. When they worked great. When they didn't work, they were a pain in the ass. And again, now you can just get battery powered everything. Be honest, I'd still rather use a freaking hammer and a nail than a gun for most trim work. You know, I should say that for most trim repair work.
Yeah, for repair, yeah. Well, it's easier to carry in a hammer.
If I'm doing a whole room in crown molding, I'm definitely using the gun. I'm not going to try and hand nail all of that. Although this is all block and screwed. It's not even nailed. Which people don't even realize it's the best way to do crown molding. They'll try and figure it out and roll it. You take a 2x4 and you rip it at 22 degrees on the width, and you put 2x4 blocks all underneath where the crown molding's going. You just pin it up against the wall. And then you just take the trim up there and you can roll it all around, and you go right through the middle of the trim with a trim screw right into that 2x4 block. Boom, done. And you can use the screw. You can back it out to ease it out, or you can tighten it up to pull it up or down. And you use a little trim screw, and it stays up better. Won't pop out. You don't have to go looking for studs because there's always a stud there.
That's a lot of work, man.
Actually, it's not. It's less work.
Nah.
I can hang crown molding by blocking it way faster than you can do it by trim nailing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you have to have somebody. You have to have somebody that's going to mill all that 22-degree angle.
No,
All
it's
you
just
need to do is
2x4.
put
You
it
rip
in
it on a table saw. You just rip a 2x4 on a table saw. This has got a 2x4 behind it, and probably this whole length right here, 12 foot.
No, I follow you. But I follow you. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a lot. Personally, it was a lot more labor because nobody wants to pay to have that go up. Those extra boards go up because
Again, you can do it faster.
Put up originally, it didn't have that.
Yeah, but you can do it faster, way faster, blocking it, way faster. The material cost more than is compensated by the labor cost by blocking it. You don't need as many screws or nails. You don't have to hit every stud. You don't even have to find a stud because you know where the 3 blocks are or 4 blocks, and you put one.
The only problem I have with that is if you're working with a wavy wall, your trim's going to be straight and it's not going to suck up to the wall.
That's just it. It's not, because the 2x4 is actually backed off from the trim. When you rip a 2x4 and you put it behind standard 22-degree trim, that trim doesn't actually touch the block. It's like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch off the block.
Oh, you put it that far back? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You can suck the screw in to pull it into the wall, or you can back the screw out to pull it away and make it flow with the wall real well. It's way easier, like unbelievably easier. I didn't know. Believe it or not, but when I started working for that corporation, the freaking Brazilians that we hired to do all our trim used to do that. They'd go into a house. I had a set of 5 guys that could go into a freaking like a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot house,
and that's all they did was rip it and put them up
they
on
could
the
trim
ceiling.
a whole house in like 6 hours with 4 or 5 guys. I was like, and then, when I'm talking trimming it, I'm talking hanging doors. All the doors got hung. They used to do like a shadow block all up the staircases in the living room, all the crown molding in any of the master bedrooms, any of the back bathrooms, living rooms. They do the whole house in like 4 to 6 hours. Now, there was an advantage where we were milling this stuff. All our windows and all our door trim was pre-mited, pre-made. All they did to do was cut the risers to length. We always make them a little long so they can match them to the floor. So they literally didn't have to miter anything on doors or windows. The doors and window trim all came pre-made. All they had to do was slap it up there, align it, and tack it up. Done. But they would make all the crown molding. They would make all the odd doors, like bifold doors like this wasn't pre-made. Those they'd have to cut and fit. All the shadow boxing. There was a buttload of shadow boxing in those houses. That's really hard. I still have a hard time doing that. And those guys just spit it out like nothing. All the baseboard. They used to use this big custom, like 6 to 8 inch baseboard, depending on what room it was in. All the bathroom tin, plus do the kitchen cabinet. All in like 6 hours on the average. There was days those guys didn't want to stay because they walked from like New Jersey. And they didn't want to.
They want to go back to New Jersey.
Well, they'd want to go on to the next job. They'd stay and work like 14 hours and do 2 houses in a day. We paid them every day. It was like $7,000 for the 5 guys to do a house. they'd make 15 grand in a day in 2 days.
Yeah, but you're paying for skill at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my allowance when I was doing the Pulte homes was 6 days to do the trim. And if I could do 2 or 3 houses in a day, I had rollover time, and you got marked if you took longer than your scheduled time, to build the house. Everybody has the framers have 4 weeks of foundation, and the house had to be done in a certain date. Well, if I could boost my date, I got a kickback. So with the Pulte homes, if I've got I think they gave me 8 days to do the trim. That was my window of getting it done. If I could do it in a day, that's like 7 days of kickback, which isn't a lot. They give you like $100 a day for getting it done early, but 7 days of kickbacks, that's $700. I get half of that. My company would keep half. Anything I'd get for kickbacks, I kept.
Okay, guys, I'm going to fly. Nice seeing you. Llama, I hope you get that bed working.
Yeah, I'll play with it.
Okay. See ya.
Peace out there.
Have fun with your little gun thing, whatever it is. Was he doing loading bullets?
I don't know. I couldn't tell exactly what he was working on.
Looks like it. I'm not a big gun guy. I don't know, so whatever. Got a butt ram, and who do I miss here? We got Robbie Mack and Viking, and I haven't really been paying attention to chat. And Nightbot and MJ. What's up, everybody? We've been going exactly an hour. It just clicked to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Babbling about life back in the day when I used to actually make money. lots and lots of money. I never did. Dude, I didn't. Everyone used to laugh because I didn't get paid that much. I made $1,000 a week. Which for my job was squat. I had a lot of people say, you're not getting paid enough. But then I had, they pay my bills, they pay my car, they pay my gas, they pay my food.
If I had all that stuff free and clear every week, and I got to take home with $1,000.
With $1,000.
I mean that in the late 2000s, in the early 2000s, the late 90s. I mean that you'd be living like a king.
Load of money. They literally did when they moved me out on Long Island. Only when I was relocating, like they moved me out on Rhode Island for a while, and they did it. And when I moved out to Long Island, I was out there for like 5 years out of Long Island. They not only paid for everything out there, but they paid all my bills here because I wasn't here.
I mean that's an excellent deal.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and supplied me with a van and gas and blah blah blah. Not only with the van, but a lot of companies will supply you with the van like for work, but you're not supposed to use it for personal. But where I relocated, I was allowed to use it for anything I want up to a certain, if they saw an excessive amount of mileage. Sometimes, dude, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I kind of tried it, and I went to New York City a couple times. You want me to kick you back something? And they're like, yeah, why don't you pay for the gas next time? Okay. So I fill the gas tank once in a while.
So don't take road trips.
I had a gas card. When I went to pay to put gas in the van, gas card. A couple of times, like, I got flat tires because I ran over a nail at the job site. You're going through these, it's not like you're building a house. I'd go into these corporate job sites where there's 30 or 40 houses being built at any one time. You hit freaking nails, you blow tires. Well, the all-wheel drive Astro vans, they'll only allow you to patch the tire 3 times. On the 4th time, you got to buy a tire. Well, you can't buy a tire with an all-wheel drive. You have to buy all 4. So one time I shelled out for the set of tires. They're like, I'm not going to put it on the corporate car. It's like $8, which I shouldn't have done it, but Like, that's kind of my fault. I mean, it's not because I'm on a job site, but that's just me being an idiot driving around, not paying attention to where I'm driving, and I got a flat tire. So it's not really their fault. It is. It's nobody's fault. It just happens. But they paid for all the repairs up to a certain point, and then the new set of tires was like, you know what? I'm not even a year old, and I had to buy a new set of tires for
Here we are.
I love that van. I liked it better than the one I got now. Basically the same thing. The only thing about the Mastro vans that suck is they get like 15 miles per gallon. That's it. You think the little minivan would get better, but they don't. Mine's got two-wheel drive. It's not even all-wheel drive, and it doesn't. I think I get 15, 16 miles per gallon. It is jacked up with a 1-ton rear end, but
Hey, so do you know anybody who kind of like maybe semi-locally like does actual making of filament?
printed solid.
Yeah, but I can't order that quantity. I'm doing some experimentation. I'm doing some experimentation with something that's really cool, and I'm just trying to find like a local guy who's got like an extruder or something.
That's what I know.
I don't care if they're like in New York or something.
There's a couple of big corporate like extruder companies in Massachusetts. Are you looking for a lot, or are you looking for a little bit?
I'm looking literally for experimentation, like maybe a pound or a kilogram at a time, and
Just pretty solid.
no, because they have to send it out to a place to get their dyes and stuff, and I'm doing like some special, kind of weird additives and stuff. So,
All right, still talk to Dave. He'd be your best bet.
mm,
The rest of them all, they want you to order 500 spools.
yeah, that's exactly it. I want to just test with one, and if it actually works,
Well, the other option is Long Island, Greengate. They're right on Long Island.
what are they called?
Greengate. They do the recycling PETG. They're right across the frickin' thing.
Huh.
I've been in touch with them. I've actually gotten some like quarter rolls of stuff they're trying to decide if they want to do. I've gotten it a couple times. Well, they'll send it to me and a half a dozen other people. And like, here, you guys try this. Tell us what you think. Should we carry it? Kind of deal.
Do they actually do virgin filament also, or is it just recycled?
They specialize in recycling. That's all they do.
But they must have to cut it at some point. They have to like cut in some good fresh stuff, right?
Nope. They're 100% recycling. That's one of their things about their stuff. They do add chemicals to it to make it so they can use 100% recyclable.
Huh.
It's got additives. I shouldn't say chemicals. It's got additives to it. But they are 99.99% recycled. There's almost no virgin material in any Greengate stuff.
Oh, that is cool.
It's clarified and a few other things they do. You'd have to talk more to them about it, but
Yeah, I'll have to go and see about talking to him. Yeah, I don't want to go and buy a pellet extruder just yet.
there's actually a couple of them that aren't that expensive.
Yeah, I was watching one of Joel's videos where he was reviewing some little device that was like this big, and apparently he was having trouble getting the right diameter out of it. And then he reviewed some bigger, giant kind of machine, which had a diameter sensor on it, and it would like self calibrate and self regulate to the tolerance.
But you're talking about a filament maker and a filament extruder. He's talking about a pellet extruder for the printer. You pour pellets in and it prints it.
Well, I mean, if I put a 1.75 Boswell on it.
It doesn't make filament; it prints with pellets.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether that would work for my purpose.
There's a couple of them that are under $500 now.
I mean, that is cool. That is cool, and it would mean you'd be using like a direct drive kind of a system, you know?
Well, it's a hopper that kind of sits on top of the extruder. You pour the pellets in it. A couple of them have like a almost like a Bowden tube, but it's not. It's it's more like a big freaking funnel.
It's a garden hose, garden hose with plastic pellets in it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like I said, if you want to experiment, Dave's the one to get a hold of. Now is not the time because Christmas and heat extruders are running constantly. But I guarantee you, like mid-January, early February, his business is going to slow down like everything because everyone's got to start paying their Christmas credit cards off. And he would probably have time, although he's trying. I guess over Christmas he's going to get the PETG crap run, which is going to make his life majorly miserable because now he's got twice as much to do with the same single extruder unit.
Yeah, I got to just figure it out because if
buy a Pro extruder, you can buy yourself a Pro extruder. What are they? $800, $500.
That's the thing. I want to make filament because I want to have other people potentially use this stuff.
Well, that's what you buy a fill extruder. What a fill extruder is. Home kit extruder. You buy pellet and it spits out filament.
Yeah.
It's a miniature filament line.
Yeah, I've been looking at them. I've been researching them a bit, and that's why I was saying I was watching some of those videos where some of the machines they're like self-calibrating. Like they have this little sensor that you put the filament through, and it adjusts real time to get the diameter right and all that.
Yep. You know who else does custom a lot of times? I mean, you'll pay to have it shipped more than anything else, but Hello 3D. Get a hold of them.
Hello 3D?
They'll do just about anything you ask. All the alien 3D stuff. That's he does a lot of his colors are Hello 3D from China. He gets a lot of IC 3D stuff done too. IC 3D.
Oh, these guys are Chinese.
Yeah, Hello 3D is Chinese. You'd have to pay. They don't charge squat though. To do custom crap, and you can buy like 10 rolls. And they'll do just about anything you want. They charge you a small setup fee, and then you have to buy like 10 rolls. Like Josh's War Red. Have you ever seen the War Red Alien 3D it carries? It's like a semi-transparent red with black flecks in it. It's really kind of cool stuff. That's Hello 3D. I think he bought like 25 or 30 rolls is all he bought.
Yeah, maybe after I get to a certain point, I would want to do that. I just want to kind of keep it local for the moment, But
I don't know anybody around here. They said the other Dave's the closest that does actual filament only. Filaments US or US monofilament. Custom extrusions too. But they actually do, like monofilament line. That's their main business. But they do filament too. You can actually buy rolls of like black, white, red, and orange or whatever from them. But they want you to do custom. They want you to do like 500 or 600 rolls.
Yeah, no, I need somebody who's willing to do iteration and experimentation. That's the thing, right? Like this is like just doing weird stuff until it's good, and then doing some kind of a run on it. Right.
Well, the two local ones that might do that are Monofilaments, U.S. Monofilament, which is in Massachusetts, and then filaments.us or filamentus.com, which is in Vermont.
Well, wait a second. Is U.S. Monofilaments made by Folgertech?
No,
Oh, that's who
they're
came up with
in Vermont. They're literally like a mile down the road from where Folgertech was. So they got they got together and started carrying because Folgertech originally was buying like cheap Chinese crap and rebranding it, and then found out that monofilaments.us or US monofilaments or whichever one. That's what's weird is monofilaments.us is in Massachusetts and filaments.us or whatever. There's two of them with almost the same name, and one's in Mass and one's in Vermont. And they both do other stuff, other kinds of stuff other than just 3D printer film. They do like, fishing lines and.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because those are basically the same thing. Weed whacker cord.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that's basically a plastic string, they spit out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could just get I'm gonna guess your best answer would be to just get a pellet extruder or replace your hot end with a pellet extruder. And they're not that's going to be your cheapest bet. Everyone else is going to want, big bucks to.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to do a pellet extruder on a printer because that's the thing. I gotta get it into filament form so they can feed it into normal.
Well, the thing is, you do all your experimentation of materials with a pellet extruder. Once you have it set up where you have the combination of pellets or materials, I'm assuming you want to play with material combinations, not just material combinations with a pellet extruder. When you get the combination blend that you like, then you contact someone like Dave and you say, "Here's my blend. Can you run me off rolls of filament?"
Yeah.
That would be the best way that I could think of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh.
Like I said, GrainGate, but they're all recycle. They only do recycling.
Yeah, but if they have the machines, I might be able to actually talk to somebody there and talk them into doing like a little tiny batch.
They do a lot of experimentation. Like I said, I've gotten a few rolls from them now of like different materials they want to try and recycle and stuff. And they're like, "Here you go, test it and see if we should sell it," which me and a dozen other people every time I said no. Don't do it.
Stuff wasn't good.
It's not that it wasn't good. Actually, the last stuff they sent was I can't get into it because they told me not to. But the last stuff they sent, I actually liked. The problem is the cost of it and what you have to do to it. Raising temperatures, specialized, print slower. You can buy regular stuff for like a half the price that prints better.
This is why nobody likes environmentally friendly products because
it's fun. And if you can be reasonably competitive, but if I could buy a said material for $15 or $20 a roll, or I could buy the recycled for $60 or $70 a roll, you're not going to buy the recycled.
Yeah.
If it's a couple of $5 a roll more, you might think about it. I know I do. Every once in a while, I'll buy recycled stuff if it's only a couple bucks more, just because it's a good idea and I like their colors and it helps the environment. Not that it really does, because from what I understand, recycling this stuff actually does more damage than it does good. But there's more chemical additives and stuff to recycle plastic than people realize. But that they have to dispose of. You're saving all the plastic, but then all like the acids and the chemicals and everything to recycle it with all got thrown in waste, and there ends up being more of that than there was the original plastic you're recycling.
Yeah. Yeah, if it don't make sense, it don't make sense.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Pasta. There you go. They have mini lines for that purpose. That's what they do. They do custom materials and colors. And
yeah, I got to find a phone number for them.
They would be the one to talk to, and they're really easygoing. I talked to them a couple of times at the original Earth.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a good phone number for them. So
just email them. Is Tinker still involved with them? The dude Tinkers on Twitter. I know he was actually part of the partner, but from what I understand, he kind of walked away from it.
Well, it's hard running a business.
Well, it was the two of them running it together, and I don't think they really needed the two of them. I think the other guy was doing it, and like, why be there? I thought Tinkers was Protopasta. He was one of the original partners. He was more of an experimenter. He like building for E3D. He was a customer rep.
Yeah.
Or Protopasta. Is that what he was? I don't know. I know he had something to do with him, but I understand he's kind of backed off or something. I haven't actually seen him on. He hasn't posted or anything. I haven't seen him online in a while. Oh, it could be Twitter doing its classic. Oh, you don't watch this guy.
Oh, you have to go and do like an extra step these days to make sure that you always get somebody's tweets.
Yeah. Well, they like unfriend you or whatever all the time now. Like if you don't respond to them or like their tweet for like a month, they just auto freaking delete them from your list.
Wait a second. Is that really a thing?
Yeah. I thought it was BS before too, but there's people I know I followed, and then you go back and there'll be like 10 of them all of a sudden that it says you're not following. I'm like, what?
Huh. Yeah, that's so weird. I don't think I've lost any followers, at least not that I've noticed.
Yeah. I don't know. It hasn't done it as much lately. It was a big thing like a year ago. It's just all of a sudden, like I had like 500 or 600 people I was following, and then all of a sudden it dropped to like 300, like literally in a week. I was like, what the hell's going on? Or you always get the, aren't you following it? I'm like, I thought I was. And then, you find out you're not. And you're like, but wait a minute. I've been reading their tweets for like a year now. Why am I all of a sudden not following them? I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it may just be like, Ryan follows them and he's always retweeting or commenting. And because I see his comments, I see their, who knows? It just seems like it deletes people all the time. That's not water. I'm so tired of snow.
Oh, come on. The snow is the best. I love it. I walked outside. You don't drive anywhere. You should love the snow.
Huh?
You don't drive nowhere anyway. You should love the snow.
No, you still got to shovel it and get it out of the way, and it makes mud. It's nasty. And now
I'll take
snow
snow
already now because it's what? Well, it's 35 degrees. It was almost 40, 45 degrees earlier. And it's just turning to slush. And then it freezes at night and everything's ice again. I hate snow.
I'll take the snow over 90-degree heat during the summer any day of the week.
See, it's not the temperature. It's not the temperature. I'll take cold or hot. I agree. I'd rather have cold than hot. But snow, the physical item of snow, I'd rather have rain.
Ah,
I don't like the cold. Doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I don't like it. It's not.
are you saying the cold doesn't bother you anyway?
It's not a big deal. I mean, cold's annoying, but it doesn't. And I agree with you. I'd rather have it cold weather wise, temperature wise, than hot and humid and miserable. 'Cause, I mean, the cold, at least you put a coat on. When it gets hot, there's nothing you can do but sit in the air conditioning.
Obviously, you haven't had to endure sitting with young kids who are watching TV shows and movies.
Nice Frozen reference. No idea, but whatever. Anyway, I'm like Disneyland, man. I've been shoveling snow and sand. I've been sanding the driveway for the last 2 days.
Why don't you just put down some salt or that sodium carbonate or whatever that stuff is, that weird stuff?
That costs money. Sand is free. My property is a sand pit. It used to be a sand pit.
I'm not one of those
It
people.
got 2 inches and I got sand.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm not one of those people who's like there ought to be a law, but I walked into Walmart the other day, and in the craft aisle, I found this stuff. Are you familiar with this stuff?
Water beads? No.
So basically, if you take some of these and you put them into water, they expand like a huge amount.
Yeah.
If you really hate somebody, if you grab a can of these and put it down their toilet,
Okay.
they are in for the worst time of their life.
Yeah, because it's going to back up their toilet, and they send a snake down there, which will probably rip it all apart. And just...
Look, somebody in California, they took out the entire sewer system for their development, with the things popping out the manhole covers and
they do
so this stuff I went into Walmart, $12 for a Coke size can, a little bit bigger than a Coke can worth.
What the hell do you want them for, though? I mean, it
Oh,
sounds
you know-
cool. I mean, it sounds like a cool science experiment and stuff, but
Well, I mean, if you want to, make your enemies very unhappy, or if you want to just do some weird stuff, it's just a kind of a weird sciencey thing. But man, why is this at waist level in the craft aisle at Walmart?
I don't know.
That is like just asking for municipal sewer problems.
Yeah, or some little kid come along and pop a few in his mouth and not be able to eat again. When he expands in his stomach and blocks him up. Yeah, that's the least of the problem. I mean, I know kids that used to fluff, like, I know a kid that no matter what, you could yell at him, whatever. It was a girl I was dating. It was her son. He was at the age where he was still kind of crapping himself on occasion, and he'd get embarrassed by it because he was old enough to know better. But it would still, and it wasn't all the time. But he'd always flush his underwear down the toilet to hide it.
Oh no!
Do that. And he did it like a dozen times. And we're like, dude, stop. Just let us know. It's not a big deal. We'll do the laundry. Don't worry about it. Nope. Flush it down the toilet. Of course, that just backs everything up. And you got to rip into the wall, pull the pipe out.
Oh, that is the worst.
Take it out. You got to cut the pipe out and take it out and put it all back together.
Oh, no. No. Oh, that is so bad.
It was not a pleasant experience. And of course, it was a private house, too. It wasn't even like an apartment building where it'd go down and, some maintenance guy ended up doing it. We know he ended up having to do it.
Yeah. It's been awfully quiet this weekend. There's not been a lot of people streaming or doing anything.
Yeah, it's Christmas. The week before Christmas, everyone's.
That should mean that there's people with free time.
No, they're all doing family crap. I mean, they're not really driving around, but they're still doing
Look,
family crap.
Christmas is canceled this year. I heard it officially. DNC put it out.
Nope. My brother, I wasn't on all day most of the day yesterday because my brother was here most of the day. Which was good because he helped me finally fix my freaking water filter. Which I'm so very glad I got that fixed, even though it's not really what I wanted. It's still better than what's there. I got one of them, it's just a paper water filter. It looks like a pool filter where I have my own well. It just
Is this
stops.
a glorified coffee filter?
Basically, it's a paper filter, yeah. All it does is stop the sand. I've got a well, and it's a sand pit. So it stops the sand from getting into the tanks and stuff. That's all it does. It's not like filtering out like germs, or it's just stopping sand and iron and crap from getting in the lines. Well, the last time I did it, I was in a rush because my other brother was here and he wanted to leave, and it takes two people to do it because it's full of water and everything. One has to hold like a bucket of it. It's not a big deal, but it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, I put it back on and forgot to Vaseline the frickin' seal. So it sealed up fine. Problem is now I can't get it off. I literally had to cut it out and put a whole new filter in. I cannot get the filter cover off. It's stuck. It's like glued on there. Luckily, I have another whole system. I was originally going to do a dual, and if you do two, you don't lose as much water pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So it was originally when I was doing it, I was going to put two into it, but I bought a 1-inch, which was nice because the 1-inch, unless the paper filter gets really clogged, it doesn't affect my water pressure at all. So I put the 1-inch in. I had no problem. I just went back to the 3/4 inch because I can't get the 1-inch freaking open. I cannot get the tank off of the freaking thing.
You don't have a hacksaw?
Yeah, but then you can't use it again. It's a big screw thing. You unscrew the drum with the filters inside of it, screw it back on.
Huh.
Just, it's about that tall. It's basically, you ever seen those pool filters for like the little cheap Walmart filters? The filter's almost the same thing. As a matter of fact, I think it is the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had a pool. Not one of the rich kids.
Dude, the Walmart pools are like $200. You must have seen I call them Jabba the Hutt pools.
Oh, the ones with the inflatable ring?
Yeah. I've got a couple of those.
What are you doing? Keeping fish or something? People use those to set up fish farms.
Summer, now you're saying it's hot and humid. Nothing better, especially doing construction and to come home. I used to come home from construction, dude, fully clothed and just walk right into the thing. And then spend the next hour cleaning it because, of course, all the sawdust and crap. But the cool thing is you're in it, cleaning it, cool it off.
Well, I mean, if you had any neighbors, they probably appreciated the fact that you were wearing your clothes.
Dude, I'm not in a city. I mean, I do have a neighbor over here, but they really, especially in the summer, they can't see into my yard.
I'm just busting your stones. Man.
Well, that's what I think I'm going to do is hit it with a heat gun or I tried putting hot water into it. I fed the hot water into it for a day and ran it through it, and it wouldn't break free. It was my own damn fault. I didn't Vaseline the seal when I put it up there. I think the actual seal dry rotted to the thing.
You can't just get a screwdriver in underneath it or something, or?
No, it's a big plastic drum. It's got its own wrench. Dude, it's got its own wrench, and I got the wrench, and it's got like a 6 millimeter aluminum bracket, and I was bending the bracket, trying to get it off.
Huh.
It's just, you haven't seen those? The big house filters? They're about that big. It's just a drum with a filter drops into it, and you unscrew the whole, Imagine this thing. There's a line coming in and a line coming out with a filter inside of it, and you just unscrew it.
Yeah, but so is the gasket like inside, or is the gasket like?
It's literally almost the same thing as this. It's one of
Yeah,
these.
okay.
It's just,
Yeah, that
instead of a press seal here, it's got a threaded seal, and there's a line in, goes into the filter, and then comes back in a line out. And you just unscrew it, and it's got a couple of like little fingers, and you put a special wrench on it and torque it off. It usually pops right off. I can usually just whack it once with my fist and it breaks free. But like I said, it's my own damn fault. I didn't Vaseline the seal or the threads. I was in a rush. My brother was here. He wanted to leave. He had to give me a hand. One of those, we waited until the last minute when he was here to do it. So, of course, he wanted to get out of here. Everything got rushed. And I just spaced it. It's my own damn fault. Just freaking annoying. And a major pain in the ass to cut it out and put a new one in.
Oh.
Yeah, print extender. I just break the prints. Ain't print. Although I got the polycarbonate, I probably could.
What are you printing on polycarb?
You said print extenders for the wrench handle. So you can,
Yeah.
put leverage on it. I put a piece of
Pipe on it.
I did, but there's a point where you start bending the actual mounting flange. You're like, yeah, that's not really good for the pipes. Yeah, TPU. That all worked. Yeah, there you go, Brian. Brilliant. TPU. Noodle handle. A lot of torque with that. Lots of torque with TPU freaking wrench. Squishy, squishy, squishy.
I just looked at one of my browser windows. I got like 37 YouTube tabs open. What?
It's snowing out. Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's great.
What the hell are you doing back here?
I love it.
You had to come back over for, oh God, you make her happy.
She said, when I reread it, she said she wanted the Stop and Shop eggnog.
Yeah, that's what she wants. As long as
She
it's
said
not
you-
the alcohol flavored one.
No, it's not. I went to Stop and Shop, but they didn't even have a quart.
It's actually pretty good. I like that
Well,
stuff.
she said you both drank it in the text yesterday.
Yeah.
All
What the
right.
hell did you have to come back here for?
Well, I'm going to go to Old Glory. Want to go?
Where are you going to Old Glory?
Because I feel like it. But I actually, when I have to eat my other set of glasses, they only had, by the time I went through all the rigmarole, the lens cutter got done at like 5 o'clock. So they only cut one pair for me because it was an emergency.
Oh, that's what I was wondering if you had to come back for the glasses.
Well, these are new. Well, I didn't have any. These are the new ones. These fucking things are $300. Cost me $640 yesterday to get 2 pair of glasses.
You're on the internet right now, just so you know. There's a live streaming.
Hello, Lawless
Live streaming
Panel.
right now. There's a whole bunch of people here watching.
So I better not
Get
swear
to the
something.
frame. Let's say hi.
All the time to come back.
I couldn't believe it. The other pair, this is $279.
Yeah, I told you.
Well, the second pair I got were plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic black rims.
Yeah, like black
To wear at
rim.
work, so I can beat them up.
Yeah.
Because these are polycarbonate lenses, and the other ones are plastic lenses.
I don't know
They're
how
both
you
plastic, aren't they?
How the hell do you lose your glasses?
I don't know, but
anyway?
look, I even got the mark. I think I did it when I did this.
But
Because
did
I
they
was
fall off
sweating.
your face and you
Yeah,
went,
but I was
oh,
out
my
there.
glasses just dropped on the ground?
No. Because I was out cutting all the sucker vines and shit in the trees down my wall.
Yeah.
And I must have hit myself in the head with them, yanking them down like 9 times.
But didn't you notice your glasses were gone? You couldn't
No, I was
see
sweating. I
anymore.
was sweating, and when I sweat, my eyes get watery and my glasses don't work. Honest to God, I think I know which time I lost them. The problem is they were tortoise shell, the brown and the black.
You know, they have-
stuff on the front.
They have
Anyway,
hours.
we'll give that to Bob. I'll get off of this and come hang out for 5 minutes.
No, I gotta go. We're gonna pick up because I gotta go back and get the glasses anyway. I just dropped these off on the way through. To
They're open today?
Yeah, I gotta pick them up in Waterford. I had to go back to Waterford to get the glasses. And then
Oh, they don't grind there. That's
no,
right.
they didn't. The guy that left. It's the same guy. His name's Rick.
Got you.
But he was down there.
They just sent the prescription over.
Yeah.
I got you.
So
Anyway, all right.
plus, it was $190 for an eye exam and $430 for 2 pair of glasses. And they want me to come back and do it again next year. It's like, woo, woo.
$19.95
Well, those don't work.
for 3 pair.
Oh, did you do the online?
I'll see you later.
What's that?
I said, do you do the online thing where you get your measurements and everything from the eye doctor and then just order them off a website?
I went to the eye doctor like 5 years ago. I'm farsighted. I just buy readers.
Oh,
These are cheater readers. They're only magnified on the bottom half.
they got a whole bunch of these websites now where if you actually get your prescription, you just enter in the numbers on the website and they send you your glasses and you can virtually try them on by holding your phone and it like superimposes them on your face. It's hilarious.
But you already have to have your prescription.
Yeah, but you know, that's
Yeah,
not.
I just know.
You're just using cheaters though, so that's nothing.
If it's,
Go to the dollar store, pick up.
some of mine, I still have the original labels on them because these are 1.25s. That's all I need to read. But I also have some 1.5s, and I can't tell the difference. So I leave the labels on the 1.5s. If you see me like with my glasses on, it's still got the label down the side. Those are my 1.5s.
Yeah.
I actually need those. Like if I'm going to do something up close in my face, I need the 1.5s. To just read my iPad sitting there, all I need is the 1.25s.
You can always zoom in on the iPad. Enhance.
Enhance. You know what's even easier? Putting on 1.25s and not caring. And it don't matter how much you enhance it. If it's blurry, it's still blurry. I only need them like up to like 18 inches from my face. After that, I'm fine. I see the TV screen fine. I can't see that. It's all blurry. I can't read it. I mean, I can see it. I just can't read anything off of it. Like I can't read a label off of a freaking can of soup unless I hold it out like this. Then I can read it fine. Yeah, Matty Jake, you're perfect. That's funny.
I wonder what doctor he had lie to him.
I bet Twitter will disagree with you that you're perfect. Twitter don't think you're perfect at all. You walked into that one, Matt. Anyway. Poopy.
Yeah.
So check this out, the whole COVID BS. That's my oldest brother. He lives over in Westerly, Rhode Island, which is like...
Oh, does he now have to go in quarantine for 2 weeks since he visited you?
He had to come over here to get glasses and a thing because they couldn't do it over there.
Yeah.
I had to retire.
Whatever. Anyway.
And I had to have him right away. The biggest issue was I couldn't do it with Vision Works because the next appointment was June 11th.
Yeah. Couldn't get it done.
That's downstairs.
Don't they have like the Gestapo checkpoints and stuff between Rhode Island and Connecticut now?
Half gallon? You got to drink some of it to go
have
bad.
a little bit of it.
Yeah, but you could probably put a little of that Kirk Sweeney in it.
Yeah.
Should have brought me a shot of Christian Brothers. So,
You know what I do have around here?
huh?
We could do a shot before, you know.
What's that? That Portuguese stuff or whatever?
No, the Red Stag. I bought little nippers of it. It was on sale at the A&P for like 95 cents for the nippers.
Yeah, I always pay a buck for them when I go around. I still drink that once in a while.
I got a couple of them around here somewhere. So I
Yeah,
drank
same
one the
here,
other day. It should be another one. I don't know where the hell it went.
I got a couple in my car anyway. I got bourbon. Why you want a bourbon?
No.
You got an Ezra Brooks
You can have that crap.
90 proof bourbon. Yummy.
Nope.
I won't drink it now out of the carton. It's cold. I don't want it cold.
I don't drink it. I don't
You
drink that
finish
much.
making all your reindeer? Finish making all your reindeer?
I don't know. Anyway,
What are you guys building today?
yeah, we're just bull crapping.
Oh, looks like he's sitting there quiet to me.
He is. Because he's
Hey.
listening to us talk about stupid shit.
Absolutely.
He was right in New London.
That's probably. I just drove by him then.
Yep.
How you
Yeah.
doing?
Rick, Mike. They can't see you, but
It is
that's
going.
my older brother. He's
Older
old.
brother.
He's the oldest.
He's the youngest. He's
I'm the
a punk.
youngest. There's 5 of us. He's 10 years older than me.
Anyways, I gotta go.
And he's probably way more healthier.
I don't know. What's about a tie?
Well, that's because you smoked cigarettes for freaking 30 years, where I didn't.
45.
You're still probably healthier than I am.
Yeah.
I just heard you say that your older brother was cool.
Huh?
What?
What'd you say?
So I'm headed for the 420 shop.
Dude, there's like places over in Yorktown.
Yeah, but I've been going there. So you figure out how long that
Well,
is.
you realize they got one. Where's the other one?
There's like 4 of them now. But they're
Yeah,
over
I
the
know.
other
There's
side
one
of
in
the
New
wall.
London, and there's one in
Well, there's one in Montville.
Guilford.
No, there's one in New London now. Groton.
There's one in Montville where you can pick up.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe they took off over that one that used to be
Yeah.
the tobacco shop. There.
Isn't there an Old Glory over by you?
I have no idea. I know that the only places where you can legally buy this stuff is there's one in Montville. It was an old bank, and you can just go in there as long as you got a prescription and buy it. I'm waiting for that to become legal in the state of Connecticut.
This is just a head shop. It's not. You can't buy pot or THC or any of that
Wait,
stuff.
buy
It's just-
CBD.
you can buy bongs and bowls, and that's it.
CBD. They sell CBD now. I'm surprised they don't actually.
You know, if
Yeah.
if Trump actually wanted to get reelected, all he would have had to do is like some kind of an executive order or something legalizing that, and he would have had everybody vote for him.
Yeah, no. But the problem is his base would have never gone for that. The Republicans are the base.
They actually brought it.
antis.
They actually brought it to Congress, passed in Congress, but it'll never pass in the
Yeah.
Senate.
Well,
The Democrats passed it.
douchebag here that in Connecticut wanted to pass it if it weren't for COVID. We
Well, you know
probably
what?
had it legal here.
Eventually, they're all going to realize if you tax it like cigarettes, gasoline, and alcohol, they're making billions.
Yeah, well, the big
Yeah,
thing was, and not
Like
even
it
the
was-
Republicans, but the fanatical Republicans.
That's the federal
Not just the,
government. Yeah.
well, no, the fanatical freaking.
Well, you got the
Pence.
libertarian fringe. The libertarian folks are all like, go for it. And
Yeah, but
you know,
no,
like
there's-
in New London,
oh, it's going to cause a big wave of drug and blah blah
look,
blah.
look. In New London, we have a memo that went out to the police
That's not
department. We had a memo that went out to the police department in New London from the mayor's office that
Yeah,
said,
no,
don't harass anybody for doing this privately. You know, the only time that they harass people is if they're obviously dealing or if they're, if they're trying to stack up other charges on you.
well, the new Connecticut law, they did pass the Connecticut law.
Well, that's a
where-
ticket. It's a freaking ticket.
yeah, it's 1 pound. You can have up to a pound now, not just an ounce.
Holy
Pound-
cow.
Unless if you have it split up, like if you're carrying around 100 joints, then they can bust you
It's
for
called,
distribution.
obvious intent to sell.
Sell, yeah. But if you're just carrying around a pound of pot, they're gonna be like, "Have a nice
All
day.
as long as it's in
Here's
the
your
same bag.
$50 ticket. Have a nice day."
As long as it's in the same bag.
Right.
I gotta go. I gotta go down.
Yeah. I
I think it's
wonder whether or not if you just rolled up a really, really, really long one and then you just cut it down as you were selling it, whether or not that would count as it's in a distributable form. Because if you just have one really long,
the buff 4 inches.
6 foot long doobie,
Anyway, it's still illegal here.
twist it off like sausage links. Twist it off like sausage links.
I don't know why. I mean, it's just so stupid. You know, there's enough states now that have absolutely 100% proven that there's very little downside to legalizing it. I mean, you get all the fanatical, wannabe important people who are like, oh, it's gonna make it it's a step drug to heavier stuff. Blah blah blah.
Look. Let me tell you something, right? If they go and they legalize it, there are so many other social benefits to it. First off, you're not sending all the poor people to prison anymore. Okay.
Yep.
And you're not sending them to prison and turning them into harder criminals, because once you go to prison, right, you're more likely to go and reoffend again and again and again. So if you can stop it from happening the first time, so you get rid of that initial charge that would send you to the joint, that's going to have a tremendous impact on lower income populations.
Yeah, no, it's just stupid. I mean, you can legalize. I'm sorry, if I have a choice of 100 drunks on the road or 100 potheads on the road,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
take
the
100
stoner.
potheads every day a week.
You
And I
know,
don't-
they're just going to be annoying because they're driving kind of slow.
Yeah, but they're not. Potheads are not getting into car accidents. They're not driving fast enough to get into car accidents.
Yeah. You know, if the worst thing I have to deal with is a bunch of people heading to Taco Bell at odd hours, driving kind of slow.
Well, that's the other thing. Look at all your restaurants and all your small businesses that make buttloads of extra money because all of a sudden you got the munchies.
Oh, delivery cupcakes, delivery cookies, delivery anything.
Captain Crunch and Cheerios is going to be king when that happens.
Oh, you know what? I love Captain Crunch, but I can't eat it because it cuts up the inside of my mouth.
Yeah,
They're like
me
little
too.
razor blades. Why would
Yep.
they go and they make cereal that's made out of razor blades?
I agree. If I eat like a whole bowl of Captain Crunch, like I can get like a little dessert bowl and eat it and be all right. If I eat a whole bowl of it, it's like the whole inside of my mouth is raw.
Yeah. It's like chewing on sandpaper or something. I don't know what they put into it, but it's not nice for your mouth.
Yeah, but it's so tasty.
I know. You got to get the crunch berries.
Yeah, oh, definitely. They have all Crunch Berries now. We didn't add any Captain Crunch. It's all Crunch Berries now.
Hey, do you remember Kix cereal? They were like
Yep.
these little balls.
You'd still get kicks.
Well, there's another company called Mother's, and they made something called peanut butter bumpers, and that is like the absolute best cereal ever.
I'm not a big peanut butter person. I can deal with it, but like I love Reese's peanut butter cups, but I'm not a big peanut butter person. Like I
Well,
don't.
I mean, this stuff it's a solid cereal, so it's crunchy and whatnot, but it's
Well,
just there for flavor.
You can get peanut butter flavored kicks.
Kix?
Kicks cereal. You can get in like
Oh, they came out with a peanut butter version.
chocolate and peanut butter. Kicks comes in like 6 flavors now. Strawberry, or did. Are they even still around? Kicks is still around, isn't it?
They gotta be.
It's like Blueberry and Count Chocolate and all those. You realize those came around in like the 60s, early 70s? That stuff's been
Yeah.
around
Well, how else do you sell cookies for breakfast? You sell somebody a bowl full of like little cookie crumbs for breakfast. That's what all those cereals are.
they're more sugar than anything else.
Well, yeah, that's why I said they're cookies. They're basically little tiny cookies that you cover in milk. Who doesn't like cookies covered in milk?
Cookie Crunch. Is it Cookie Crunch? Is that the cookie cereal?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So you know what's kind of fun, right? Do you like Twix bars?
Yes. I like it.
So
What are
Twix
those?
bars are not actually a candy bar. They're technically a cookie.
Cookie, yeah.
And you know what? They get taxed differently. Because there's like some special taxes that happen on cookies and stuff in different states. Or there's like special taxes for baked goods in states, and then there's other taxes for candies in certain states. So since it's not a candy, it's a cookie, which is like a baked good.
Well, it is. It's the cookie.
Yeah, I mean it's a damn good cookie.
Yeah, no, I like Twix. I haven't eaten them. I don't. Every once in a while, I'll get like a bag of the Reese's peanut butter cups. Like I discovered if you mail order from Walgreens, I can get Reese's Minis dark chocolate.
Oh, dark chocolate? Ah. You just hate nice things? Like there's a reason that people add milk chocolate.
Dark chocolate is the best.
I mean, I guess it's the best if you don't enjoy anything that tastes good.
Oh, it tastes awesome. Dark chocolate is better than milk chocolate. And please don't tell me you eat white chocolate, because if you knew what white chocolate was,
Look, the only thing that white chocolate belongs on is the coating of a zebra cake.
You know
Zebra
what
cakes
white
are pretty good.
You know what white chocolate is, right? I mean, the original, it's more than that now. But the
Well,
original
white chocolate is basically cocoa butter,
yeah, it's the milk fat they used to scrape off of the freaking
not
Milk
the milk fat. It's the actual fat from the cocoa.
right.
Or-
Well, when they make milk chocolate, when Hershey's made milk chocolate, they used to make the white chocolate out of the crap they'd scrape off the top of the milk chocolate. That's
Well,
originally
that's the actual cocoa butter.
well, it's cocoa and milk fat. It's cocoa fat and milk fat. It's nasty.
Yeah. You combine those two things, and it's delicious.
No, that's disgusting. That's just milk fat. That's all it is. It's nasty.
Look, have you ever had those little zebra cakes? It's like a vanilla cake, a layer of like really light kind of a frosting, and then another layer of the like vanilla cake. They take the whole thing, they dip it in really, really like thin, like a really thin outside shell of that white chocolate, and then they do like a zigzag drizzle of regular chocolate on it, and they are amazing.
No, that's nasty. No,
But yeah, white chocolate just by itself ain't good.
no. Do they still make Gators?
Gators?
I don't know. I don't think they make them anymore.
What do you mean by gators? Like the things that eat your legs in Florida?
No, it was a chocolate. There was a chocolate Twinkie. It was chocolate with a peanut butter filling instead of a cream filling in it. Then they made Gators, alligators, or they call them Gators, which they dip and they put a chocolate coating on top of that. So it was a chocolate coating with a chocolate cake with a peanut butter cream filling, just like a Twinkie.
I will tell you what.
Twinkies.
I don't enjoy Twinkies because Twinkies are kind of dry and that filling in them is not good.
If you had Twinkies back in the 70s before they had like the whole chemical was bad thing, when they were chemical cakes for real, Twinkies were awesome.
So here, let me show you these.
Like cake and stuff, and they're gross.
So these things right here, you can go to the dollar store and get them right now. What was that?
Ding dong.
Well, wait a second. So these, it's a chocolate. You can also get the vanilla cake ones, but these things are actually they're made in Turkey, and they use all of the European ingredients. Okay, so they have like all the E numbers for the stuff that they put into it, but they have a really high egg content, which makes the cakes themselves really just like moist and delicious. And these things are the absolute best. And it's $1 for 5 of them.
What do you get them at the dollar store?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And these things are just excellent. I'll go in there and I'll clean out the shelf of them, every couple of months because, I munch on them.
I've been not eating that kind of crap. I'm trying to lose weight, so I've been cutting my junk food way back. Drinking a lot less soda, eating a lot less junk food. Coffee, dude, it's weird. It took me like a month of drinking soda or water to not want a soda. And it's funny, like I noticed the other day, I got a soda and I filled this up and I came upstairs and I just naturally grabbed the water. The soda sat here. I never even opened it. I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm drinking water instead of soda now. I used to drink 4 or 5 sodas a day minimum. Like when I was doing construction, I could go through a 6-pack of soda every day. On top of having 4 or 5 coffees. Which that I won't stop. I have lowered my coffee intake. I'm down to about 2 cups a day, but yeah, whatever.
Oh no, these things are the absolute best. I totally suggest you grab just one package. Just grab one package.
Probably. I don't go to the dollar store, although I've been hitting Dollar General lately because I find the milk at Dollar General is actually better than the grocery store. I swear it's got a higher turnover, so it's fresher.
I've been buying the milk which comes in those like cartons that are made out of paper, but it's like shelf stable stuff.
Yeah, wax cardboard.
Yeah, but you can get it real cheap. It's at the dollar store also.
Yeah,
and it's great for making like sauces and stuff. It's great for throwing on your Captain Crunch if you want to tear up your mouth.
You know what I don't get? Dollar General. There's one right down the road, so I use it all the time because why not? It's cheap as the grocery store. It's not like going to one of the regular like Dairy Marts or something where you pay $5 for something you normally go to the grocery store and pay $1 for the convenience of having it right there.
Yeah.
It's right there, and it's cheap, if not cheaper than the grocery store. Anyway, so I've been going there for, chips and soda and crap and milk. But they have milk, they have heavy cream, but they don't carry half and half. They have heavy cream, but they don't carry half and half.
Well, heavy cream is delicious. Why would you need half and half?
I put half and half in my coffee.
I mean, have you tried putting straight up cream in there?
Yes, and I
It's
like
delicious,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's twice the price of half and half.
Yeah, but you could use probably half as much and get the same enjoyment.
Well, I have a couple times not feeling like going to the grocery store. I'll buy the heavy cream. I'll buy like a pint, and I've got jugs like this that are quarts, and I'll mix it half and half with milk and make my own half and half.
Yeah, that works.
It still ends up being more expensive than just outright buying half and half.
Oh.
Anyway, it's been almost 2 hours. It will be 2 hours in a minute. So I think I'm going to kill it because there's some other streams. Fun King streaming at 4. I think Jerry's streaming at 4 too. I don't know why he decided to do 4 when Fun King always streams at 4 on Sunday.
Yeah, it's been weird. Where's Dan been? Got to get Dan back streaming again.
Dan's been busy with being sick, and he's streamed a few times. You kind of burn out doing a lot. That and you had to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I was back last year about this time. I was streaming every day for 2 or 3 hours, 6-7 days a week. And after about a couple of months of that, you burn out on it. You're just like, no more.
Yeah,
now I can't get back to. I'm not paying for StreamYards anymore. I'm back to the free account. So 20-hour limit now. Back to the 20-hour limit.
Oh, they have a limit on the number of hours you can do a month on the free account now?
Yeah, they always did.
Huh. I never knew that. I guess I never ran into it.
Well, they are cool about it because if you go over your 20 while you're streaming, they won't cut your existing stream. So if you're like 19.5 and you start streaming, you stream for 6 hours, you'll get 25 hours. But they won't let you sign back on again for, until 30 days are up. Yeah. 20 hours. 20 hours is a lot when you think about it.
Yeah, for streaming in a month?
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost a full day of streaming.
I think in the year I've been doing this, I think twice I hit it where, I was like 2 days away from the end of the month where I couldn't sign back on. That's when Lightspeed gave me $50 and paid for 2 months, and then I had a little money when I sold some tools and I paid for the next 2 months. And now I'm out of money and I'm not going to spend any more money on it because I'm not streaming that much.
Holy cow. So I just went on Amazon, right?
Huh?
And I was looking up filament extrusion machines, and they have some that are coming straight from China that look like tanks.
Yeah.
Like these things look amazing, and they're like it's $1,000, but it's like a professional rig.
Yeah. Well, those things that Joel was doing, they're like $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah, but this is like this thing looks like it's all made out of sheet metal and like
Seriously.
yeah.
I was looking at those for a while, and I was like, it's not worth it. I always thought about, their whole everybody does recycling bull crap. And it's just, not worth it.
Okay, can you see there?
Again, now,
So look at this rig.
that's a little dinky thing, though.
Well, yeah, but look at that. I mean, that's a solid machine, and they sell it with a an accessory. Hold on, let's see. They sell it with the winding accessory, which does like the you know.
I guarantee that thing is not extruding a nice even, 1/100th of a variant freaking filament.
I just need plus or minus 0.05 or whatever,
Yeah,
standardy kind of thing.
Plus or minus 0.1. You'll be lucky. That's what most of those home extruders. Do you look up the fill extruder?
I think I did. Hold on. Fill extruder.
They're actually a big company now. They sell everything fill extruder. Not just their extruder. They sell like E3D parts and.
Well, they have a kit. They have a kit for like $200. But
yeah, that's not really a kit. That's the parts to make a kit. That's the stuff you can't just like go to Home Depot and get. You still have to go to Home Depot and get all the parts. That's like the worm drive thing and the motor and the heater or something. But you still got to go get like pipe and caging and bung holes and.
That's no good. Like I want to get a thing which I can just buy and do minimal assembly on it and just spit out something.
You're gonna have to get the whole unit then.
What was that?
You have to get that thing like Joel. He did a video on it like a year ago.
Yeah, it was a big machine.
It looked like a printer, and it just spit out filament and wound it up on the bottom. That thing was like $1,000 or $1,500, I think.
I think that those were $6,000. I looked into them.
Really? Were they that much? And
I
it
mean-
didn't do it all. I mean, it was usable filament if you look at it, but it's not. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. And to do it nicely.
Well, that's right. Make anything get a video on them too. There's I think that was a different machine though, wasn't it? It was like it still was like it's like $1,000. I think the one I was looking at, it's like $1,000 or $1,500 for the whole setup. But there's a couple of like instructables on how to make your own. It's really cool.
Yeah, I ain't got that kind of time.
I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah, I mean, I got enough going on trying to write software and, doing auto ejectors. I don't need another hobby.
Another full-time hobby.
Yeah.
It took you a month to build the thing and then another month to figure out how to actually make it work right.
Yeah, not looking to do that. That's going to be insane.
Any of those is not going to be. None of them are going to be plug and play. There's going to be a massive learning curve.
Hey, as long as within a couple of hours I can actually get something of like a certain diameter coming out of it, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be quite that fast, but yeah. Pretty much everything I've seen, and again, I barely looked into it, but they all seem to be. It's a new technology. It's like anything. Give it 4 or 5 years, and they'll be just like,
Well, it's
now.
eating up plastic.
Reality will come out
Into a hole.
$400. I'm surprised Creality hasn't come out with one, to be honest with you.
Oh, a filament extrusion machine,
Yeah.
$500 desktop.
Yep, or less. I guarantee they could do it for a couple $300. I mean, it's going to be a piece of crap, but it'll work.
Hey,
Filament recycler. It's got like a coffee bean grinder thing in the top, and you throw all your scrap filament.
I don't think we could do that.
And spits out a new line of filament.
I think that they would have to sell it as a 2-part kit. So one of them would be a filament, or would be a 3D print shredder, and then the other one would be the
Right.
filament extruder.
Well, you can shred it in one. Like I said, you put a freaking coffee blender thing on top of it.
Yeah, well, that's the way you do it. Yeah, you use a blender.
Yeah, most people use the coffee bean grinders. That's what they used to do back in the, when the Philips-Struder first came out. That's what everyone was using to chop them up. Was coffee bean grinders.
Just throw it in your Vitamix.
Yeah. Well, those things don't really mix as well because they're designed to work on liquid. To stir it. A regular blender, you put it in there and it'll powder it, but the stuff on top stays on top. You got to keep stirring it. Where a bean cutter grinder is made to, stir up the solids. That's my impression, anyways. I don't know how factual that all is, but that's the impression I got with how that all went back in the day. Anyway, it's 3:30. There's other people streaming in a half an hour, so I'm gonna
Okay.
tell.
Peace
Belgian-
out, everybody.
What are you streaming, Belgian? I know he's doing the other half of his iFactory today.
Ooh, the Eye Factory. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
He was streaming it last night, putting it together.
Oh, was I harassing him? I might have been harassing him on his stream. I'm printing on mine right now.
Yeah, I still have the thing. I could probably. Do you have it hooked up where I could just send a print to it?
Actually, yes. Do you
Yeah.
want to? Do you want
No,
to send a
I
smaller print?
was gonna send like a poop cocky or something just to screw with you.
Yeah. I mean, I can get you set up. This is actually on our production cloud
it
because last time you tested it, you were testing it on my little like local test
Oh.
server.
Yeah.
But now this is in the actual platform. It's like we're rolling it out for beta testers.
Oh, you're streaming in a half hour too, so there's gonna be 3 streams in a half hour. Because I'm
Don't
pretty sure
call it
Jerry's
stream.
streaming. Isn't Jerry streaming at 4? Maybe his is another day. I think
What
Jerry's
is
is
that,
actually.
3D printing and painting, Jerry?
He usually does it during the week. I just saw it this morning, kind of blurry-eyed in the morning, and so what the hell is he doing at 4? But Fun King always streams at 4.
Okay. Well, if you're hopping off,
Yeah.
have a good one, and see you next time.
Yeah, we'll probably someone will be streaming tonight, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They're all in Discord now, so they don't have to worry about being polite and worried about people seeing it. They can be rude.
You know what? I like the YouTube stuff though, because like
I don't like Discord. I find it obnoxious. I mean, just the whole thing. It's like a bad version of freaking 70s and 80s internet chat.
it's like Slack. It's almost like Google Meet mixed with IRC.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, I guess it works, but I don't know.
It's big with all the gamers.
Yeah. Well, so is the other one, like YouTube. Twitch. I don't like Twitch at all. I used to stream to it when I was running this because I could dual stream, but it's a waste. Anyway, I'm off of here. Later, guys. It's been fun as real.
Right?